Alright guys, welcome. This is Kayak Kevin podcast number 10. It's March 13th, 2014, and we got Richie Becolay from hooklineandsinker.net. His website is hookline-sinker.net. On Facebook, it's Hookline and Sinker on Facebook. And Lee, of course. And Richie just came back from Canoeacopia in, is it Wisconsin?
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin. So we think it's cold here. He was, but he lives up there, so it's no big deal to him.
Yeah, it was, when I got in, it was 4 below 0 that night.
Just getting in.
It was pretty cold.
And what was it here when you left? Was it one of the warm days? Tell me it was an awesome day when you left.
It was pretty nice. I can't remember how nice. But,
it wasn't the 70-degre day we had.
It was the day before that. And then the day after is when I arrived to 4 below 0.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, we'll go over Richie's history and all that stuff, and of course when he went to Canoeacopia for Warner, he went there and did seminars with Warner and worked their booth.
Yeah, went there for Warner paddles.
Yep. And,
Record is pressed.
Huh?
Record is pressed.
Record is pressed. Yeah, sorry about that last
recording.
week. Yeah, it's it's our 10th one, so 1 out of 10 messing up like that, it's not that bad, right? And of course it won't happen again because once you do it once like that, you don't really that doesn't happen again. So yeah, I've got the red record button, so the YouTube recorder is running and all that stuff. But Lee, did you do anything this week? Did you fish any? Did you go out on the boats or anything?
No,
not this week.
No, not this
I
week.
Actually paddled. I got on the water, and it's like the first time I've been on the water since 1st of January when we were catching those little reds on the eastern shore. So it's the first time I paddled in a while, and it felt good. Just a paddle. I just went out and just did 2 miles out and 2 miles back, and just stretch it out, and I felt good. Didn't feel like I was sore or nothing like that, and so I'm kind of starting to get into my training for red drum season now. I'm thinking, I ride my bike, I amp up my yoga practice. I do a lot of stretching. I mean, even kind of doing dips and stuff, because when you're pushing up all the time, we're always pushing up. So that and paddling, of course, just trying to get out anytime we can and anytime I can, and just go out and do a couple miles. It's freezing out there. That's why I didn't take a fishing rod this time.
Right.
I mean, yeah. But I didn't stop paddling either. It was one of those days I just paddled 2 miles, like,
moving.
I'm not sore. I'm not sore. All right, I feel good. I get out there and watch the sunset, and I came back in. It was one of those days.
Break off the winter rust.
Yeah, I haven't paddled in months, so they were 2 months. So yeah, it was cool. It was good just to do that. Felt good. But yeah. So when was the last time you paddled?
Oh God. Let's see. It's been
duck season?
No, I've been fishing.
Yeah, you've been fishing since.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of inland. Or not just inland fishing, but bass fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, taking the predator out to some of the local lakes, and my paddling's basically like 3/4 of a mile there, out and back. Nothing much.
Yeah.
But
you do a lot. That's one thing with you do a lot of hunting in the predators, and that's something that when Ocean Kayak started going, or when Johnson Outdoor started doing these boats like that. That was kind of the market also. They were, of course, it's a market where they were trying to tap. I remember when we were starting to build another team, and Greg was looking into guys, and he was looking for a hunter, because that was when Josh Tart was coming through, and he kind of saw how close he was getting to animals when he was on the river.
Welcome back to Facebook, Josh Tart. If you watch this,
Yep.
He disappeared from everywhere for a year or so after his long battle.
His tour. Yep.
Nice.
But so I remember him, and he was going to move to North Carolina, and that was going to be within the region, and Greg was like, all right, we're going to have a hunter, a kayak and hunter. And then he ended up staying in Ohio, but then you came on the scene. You kind of came on as, I remember your name popping up and noticing you in tournaments. We're like winning tournaments, like boom, like over here and boom over here. And then it was, for what year was that when you won 2 tournaments, 3 tournaments?
I think it was
one of them, right?
12.
The prize.
Yeah, 2012. 2012 was the first year I fished the IFA Redfish Tour, and if I would have fished a championship, I would have finished in the top 5. But I finished 8th for Atlantic Division Angler of the Year. And then 2012 was the TKA Slam winner.
Yep.
And then I think the following spring, 2013, was the Yak Attack Slam.
Right, I remember that. I remember that one. I remember because you was a freshwater, the saltwater slam. I mean, the entire thing. So that was another cool thing that you were winning fresh and saltwater tournaments.
Yeah.
And for around here, it's mixed. There's
It's
a lot of
crazy
guys
mixed. You wouldn't think it would
Yeah.
be so mixed, but it is. And of course, I guess it is because we do have the backwaters, the bays as well that have the bass in them too. You know what I mean? Like back bays.
And we have, and even that. And
every neighborhood
mountains.
has a pond in it.
And the mountains are not that far
Yeah.
away. I mean, for
Yeah.
the guys who are
true.
true bass hunters, we got the mountains and the big lakes, the big dam lakes. And so you got all that stuff too. But so that's when I remember you coming in, seeing your name. That was like the first time it started kind of popping up. And I was like, damn, this dude's like just winning tournaments and shit. So, it was like winning them. So so then you got on Ocean Kayak a little bit later after that. I think it was right after that, right?
Yeah, it was right after the TK win, and it was right after that.
Because that was when we were trying to kind of build our team up, because we had a transformation between our bosses. Greg came in from Carolina, and John Moses he retired, so that was our original rep. And then when he moved out and he left, and Greg took it over. He took it over and was like had more new ideas for the pro staff. He wanted to get shirts, and he wanted to make a real team. And he kind of saw it good. But before that it was like I don't think my rep was really seeing it as like I need stuff to show this stuff. I need shirts and I need stickers and stuff and something. It was like, well, you gotta pay for them. Like, well.
Doesn't kind of work like that.
So that, the pro staff is now, for us anyway, has gotten really good where we get shirts and we get promotional stuff so we can promote right. But and he's building one, and we're getting Lee on here soon too.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah,
We're doing the paperwork and just trying to get Lee on. So
hell yeah, man.
Because you're gonna be leaving soon. You're gonna be leaving in June.
July actually.
July.
He's going to a better place.
Sounds like I'm dying.
But you're in the Air Force and you're getting moved to Tidal.
No, I'm actually going to a base called Hurlburt Field, Florida. It's in the middle, basically between Panama City Beach and Pensacola.
Okay, it's still right there.
Yeah,
still
man, right in Destin, Fort Walton Beach area.
So you're gonna be going after the sailfish.
Yeah, I'm looking at actually living in Navarre, where a lot of those guys are.
Yep.
Right off
Good.
beach launch.
Good.
So.
Get you a couple, 1 or 2 seasons on that.
The cool thing about the
Hell
places down there, man, is these beach launch places are the good bottom out there, whether they're wrecks or live bottom, whatever those guys are fishing. It's so far from the inlets, and there's good fishing closer to the inlets of the boats. Don't even fish a lot of times you don't get a lot of boat traffic down there where the guys are down where he's going, that area, because the inlets are so far where people can actually get their boats in and out.
What's amazing about that area topographically underwater, it's a drop off from shore. I mean, it's like offshore, right? It's almost like a Hawaii situation where you get, it's not, but it drops down.
Yeah, but they have, before it gets super, like Hawaii, Hawaii has a lot of bottom fishing too, but there's actually beach and then contour, you get rock piles and live bottom before it straight drops
where they get all those,
and that's where they catch the snapper and stuff like that, and that's what I mean.
Fish. Yeah, they have the biggest triggerfish. Like we can easily like brag about our sheep's head. They have they have triggerfish. I remember those dudes. They were posting it up and just like, a nice one. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
5 pounds.
What is that? and then I was like, how big is that? And I went looking at records. And I was like, Jesus, guys, you guys are like us. When we have our sheep's head situation, the kayakers actually have a potential to catch a world record sheep's head here.
Any time.
We could catch a world record. We could, because the world record, or our state record, which is 8 ounces away from the world record, was caught off the pier. So that's within our range. That's our fishery. These guys, with their triggerfish, they have the potential. The world record came from that area. So a kayaker can actually catch a world record. It's not just a kayaking world record, but the significance of a kayaker catching a world record.
An IGFA record,
is something else. So that would be cool. They have that potential. I remember them posting it up. I was like, dude, you know what you guys have?
Yeah.
Forget about kayak records.
Yeah, like their average triggerfish is something in our area. Be like, oh my god.
Yeah, huge.
Monsters.
Yeah, and when I put up my 17-incher, and I was like real excited about it, I felt like, okay, cause since I knew about Florida, I felt like, disclaimer, this is big for us. Right. This is kind of cool for us. I know it's not Florida. Florida, but
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of the places they fish, the boats don't go to those areas that much because it's so far to get to, and there's
from the inlets,
from
you
the
can launch
inlets,
from the beach and boom, be on
and they go,
wrecks and stuff.
yeah.
So it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you see these guys catching sailfish and then red snapper,
Catch them off the pier.
you can see they're not that.
Yeah,
the shoreline is not that far away.
Sailfish off the pier.
Yeah, cobia. I mean, everything's right.
Cobia run, and they have an offshore or beach
They
run
actually-
of reds.
Oh,
They also have a beach run of
they
reds.
get out on the sand.
Yeah, yeah. You can catch them like beach run, like
They get out on the sand.
Yeah.
And they're running.
Yeah, on the fins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool moving down there, but I mean, this is where
How long-
I started, and the crew and here is so cool, and
Yeah.
the scene is. I mean, I've been down there. I mean, it's cool, but the amount of diehards and just badass anglers coming out of here, it's something to be talked about.
How long is your tour down there?
That's that could be it could be 2 years, it could be 8 years.
Oh, okay.
Here I was kind of limited, but down there the job we'll be doing is going to be whenever Uncle Sam says stay or go.
Yeah.
So
Will you come back here if you get out of there? You don't know that.
I don't know.
And I know military stuff,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's going to happen after that. And you're going here, and hopefully you'll be here for a little while. And
Well, I got about 7.5. I got 7.5 years to the point where I can put in my retirement paperwork and retire. So once that happens, I mean, I could always come right back here and work civil jobs, civil service.
Yeah,
or,
there's
a lot of that here.
yeah, a ton of it.
Did you start kayak fishing here, or did you start at home?
I started here right after I moved here. I used to.
And you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I said you're from Wisconsin. That's why.
Born and raised Wisconsin. So freshwater fishing's my gig. I was born on a lake, so done it my whole life. But I did a lot of canoe fishing there.
Yeah.
So that was my mode of transportation, was paddling a silver ass canoe everywhere, and it wasn't until I got to here, and where I would drive over HRBT and seeing these kayakers just cruising around at night. I'm like, holy shit, man! I want to do that. That's cool.
Well, and plus you were already in canoe, so you already have that little.
Yeah, you're like,
boat
man,
fishing.
I know I can move around and paddle.
Yeah,
and fish.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I know I can do that.
I know I can catch fish. I love being in the water. I know how to paddle, but that shit, these guys under the bridge, bouncing off pine like 2 a.m.,
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep.
And so that was kind of the driver, was I want to be like that guy.
Yeah. So you saw those guys. Yeah, you saw those
Yeah.
guys, and you went and got a kayak and
Yep.
then just started. Man, how long you been kayaking before 2012 when you started
Yeah.
filming tournaments?
It was right after I moved here in 2010.
Wow.
Okay, that's
Damn.
quick.
Yeah, so so that tells me you were advanced angler when you were at home. You were a higher level angler. You weren't just like what I would consider a croaker fisherman here out here. And
Right.
then you jumped in and all of a sudden you're whaling tournaments. You were
You
a
wasn't
good angler.
dunking shiners at home.
Yeah.
My tournament story starts off with, I actually did a lot of ice fishing tournaments, and as crazy as it sounds, no, you laugh at it, but in Wisconsin we have something called, they're called jamborees, and basically there's bars on the lake. All these bars that are on the lake, they'll put on these tournaments called a jamboree. Just like anything, you go in at 7 a.m., you pay in your $20, you come back at 4 for the weigh-in, and
everybody just goes out and drills the holes. And I've seen.
Well, at 15 and 16 years old, I had like electronics, portable shanty rods. And
the whole town, the whole house.
And at 14 and 15,
When does the ice cover the lake? What September?
How many months do you have?
if my rule of thumb, because I started at school, was if I could get on the ice by before Christmas break, I was happy. So it's normally sometime in December. Northern part of Wisconsin's Thanksgiving.
That makes me.
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that. I mean, I thought it was really like October or something.
Yeah.
You're starting to get.
Well, like I said, when I was younger, my mom would drop me off at the bar, not to drink, but she'd drop me off in the parking lot with all my gear at like 6:30 in the morning. They'd open the doors, I'd get my tickets, and I'd come in, and I'd weigh in, and a lot of times I'd place, third, second, and first in different divisions, and started winning money.
Able to drink all day like the other fools.
Yeah, exactly. I was probably the sober one.
kid, yeah.
But that's how I bought my fishing equipment. Was I would go to the tournaments every weekend. I'd get the flyer from the bait shop, and she would drop me off at the bar. I win $80, and I go buy a few, a couple tip ups and a new fishing rod or something.
Yeah,
And that's how I guess how it all started.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah, right now, when I was just up in Madison, I heard they got like 31 inches of ice on the lake right now.
Wow.
That won't come off. At the best, they're looking at probably mid-April.
Well, I heard, watching the Weather Channel.
Mid-April
it looks
before it's unfishable, or mid-April before it's gone? Can it melt that fast?
It can, if they get some really warm temperatures and you get like a couple really good like warm fronts with a good rain, that'll really start.
Right.
cooking.
One of the forecast people I follow on Facebook and realize that the March sun is really strong.
Good. Yeah.
So,
But it's been the most brutal winter they've had there. I think they're talking
That's what
70,
I've seen
80
with
years.
The ice flows on
been crazy.
on everything is like the rivers are all iced up, and you
Yeah.
watch a Weather Channel on it. And, yeah, it was pretty cool to have like a satellite shot of the Great Lakes and the winds blowing on it, and you
Yeah.
see the ice moving. Like it like cracks and breaks up. And he said, "This is what they say about the ice fishermen, and go out there, and all of a sudden, boom, you're drifted off."
That would be crazy.
These look like huge slabs, like
Yeah.
like 50-mile pieces of slabs.
I mean, there's
Whatever.
even certain lakes that the lakes are so big, and the way the town's designed, the lake's got so much contour to it. Is certain times of the year, once they get a certain thickness, they'll actually take the snowplows out there and they plow a road across the lake, and they put actual signs in the ice, and you can actually drive and use the lake as
As a
like
bridge.
as navigation. Yeah, exactly. As a new road.
That's crazy. That's a whole nother world.
That's
I mean,
not
I
mine.
can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't live more north than here. Like I would even have Eastern Shore even gets colder than here. And I would have a hard
it's
time.
in between. It doesn't matter which way the wind blows over there. It's cold.
It's cold It
until
comes
the
off
water gets
yeah.
hot.
It's water surrounded,
Yeah.
but up there, man, I can't. It's another world. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. How did you grow? You grew up there.
I grew up
what did
there.
Your parents do?
As far as for work.
Yeah. How'd they end up there?
How
Your
do you-
family from there?
Yeah.
Estimated to build igloos. What do you do for work up there?
I don't know, man.
Is that where we get all our frozen ice?
No doubt. But I don't know. My family's just been there forever.
Oh, so it's just
Yeah, nobody's
yeah.
moved. I'm one of the first to really move out, and I always said,
See ya.
and well, I always said forever. No matter what, I'm coming back. But like when I was flying in, and like we were on approach, and it looked like godforsaken territory with
Tundra.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. And then I got off the plane. I was like, whew. Virginia felt nice. I was like, I'm like, it would be tough to come back.
Well, that's the thing is you get acclimatized to
Yeah.
this area, and
The weather here is by far of everywhere I've been this is the best. You get like the best of all the seasons.
It really is, and it's because of the location. It's the split of the North Atlantic. It actually splits here. The North Atlantic and the South Atlantic. The South North Atlantic is right at the point. It's Edgar Casey. If you believe in his kind of stuff, his New Age stuff, he's centered here. His center here is here because of the way this area is. I mean, we're protected from hurricanes because they either hit Carolina first, and they would have to do a
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where they like hook back in.
They would have to hook back in.
It hooks
doing
back in to
that
come
us.
a direct blow.
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's
direct blow.
an interesting area.
Yeah.
And climate-wise, where we are, it's interesting. We hit both the north currents come down here, and plus the Gulf Stream comes pretty close.
Yeah,
to
a couple of years ago, everybody was complaining about the Labrador currents.
Yeah.
Coming out of the north and just ruining the bottom fishing in the winter offshore.
Yeah. So this area is just where it's located is interesting, but yeah. What is Becolay? Is that what's that?
Man, I get that question. I don't even know what it is. I guess it was chopped off and something added to it when whoever came over. But my grandfather, he was the only one that knew what it really meant, and he was keeping a secret. God only knows why. And he ended up passing away a number of years ago. Like my dad doesn't know, and you do research.
That area it's Scandinavian area, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's where all that
Norwegian
kimchi
and
stuff,
a lot
not
of
kimchi, but the Savicta fish or whatever
I don't know.
that shit that they eat up. They always see it on the the Kavita fish or whatever it is.
I know what you're talking
the
about.
rotten fish, basically y'all's kimchi.
I don't do that. I don't do that shit.
but I understand that's like a Scandinavian. You know, everybody is. But then there's that History Channel thing. So that's when you're telling me this thing. I'm like, I watched the History Channel thing about the Holy Grail being over and maybe here, and that whole it's almost like the aliens thing, right? And the guys go over here and they like left trails and stuff, and then so maybe your family is like part of the secret
Grail.
The secret.
Yeah, who knows?
Yes. Oh yeah. Who knows?
The Grail.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, and with it being all chopped up, it'd be hard to kind of going back and see.
Yeah, you can't find it, and hopefully someday we figure something out. But I know tons of people done research on it, so I just say, whatever.
Yeah.
All I know is like Slovakian
Right.
and something like that, but that's about all I know.
Yeah.
Mud.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, always that's it. Names are always interesting like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Scott Irish, and my family came in early, like way early, and then came down to Appalachians and settled in Carolina.
Oh, see, that's cool that you know that. I would
I don't
love
have
to.
any clue.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Williams is that's Scott Irish too. So
Yeah.
you're probably the same situation. Yeah. But early on, I mean, they were like talking like my dad was talking about like early, like 16, 17, early 17.
Yeah.
My family came over here. Yeah, because all like you, my Whitley side of the family like pretty much runs Monroe, Carolina. It's like that's Whitley town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I call my dad's side of the family comes from. So that's how you get all that history, and that's where you coming from. There is probably small enough where it's all kind of, cousins and uncles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got I know some family with my last name in Canada too, so it all kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. We like it, I guess, cold.
It's just so crazy. You would have to pay me $1 million a year, and I would have to be able to leave after that first year. Be able to go work up there.
I gotta get a 6-month vacation after my first year.
Yeah, it's different.
Imagine it. I mean, the furthest inland I think I've been is Ohio.
Like, it's cold
inland.
there.
Yeah, and it was a different climate. I remember leaving from here. We were playing. I was playing. We played a show up there, and with a couple shows up there. And I remember leaving, and when we got on the other side of the Appalachians, it was freezing. It was like a whole different climate. We had to hit thrift stores, so like jackets and sweatshirts and stuff. It was like we were just it was killing us. Yeah, we left here with shorts on. But yeah, it's a different climate when you get inland.
Yeah, then when we were getting it, around Milwaukee area, you get that lake effect from Lake Michigan.
Ugh.
So that damp and cold, it gets brutal.
You think about that, because most of the time you think of that inland cold, you think of a dry cold, but no, you got the lakes, which is basically a bay.
It's just like I mean,
Yeah, because the lakes are huge.
Yeah. I mean, people surf on it, right? When they get waves picking up.
It's
actually
Ontario.
I'm on the western side of Lake Michigan. But then we also have Superior that borders us on the top.
Oh, and that's the big one.
Yeah.
The big one. That's where all those winds come whipping across.
And that's where all the shit comes
And
whipping.
I remember when Josh started again. We're talking about him. When he was going through and doing his great loop, he had to make it through the Great Lakes by September.
That was the thing,
Winds.
and that was what happened.
It was like that was the winds. That's when the winds were hitting. He couldn't you can't paddle or something.
And
like
then
that.
eventually, apparently, if you're ice fishing around that area in November, then you can't paddle much into October. It's starting to get slushy in October.
Oh yeah.
You know
The
what I
water
mean?
temperatures
Like, you're
definitely in the low 40s, high 30s. Certain times.
My
My man was going to
Yeah.
run into ice. He was behind. He was going to run into ice. Yeah, there was going to be no paddling. It was going to be like scooting or whatever. He's going to have to pick his way. He's like, man, whoever his paddle company is, he's like, man, you make.
He's been in branches. He's been in branches guy. Yeah, he's going to get him a chisel paddle.
Yeah.
Ching, ching, ching. So have you been up there and fished since you've been kayak fishing? You out there summertime?
I have not, but you gotta
be one. Yeah.
And that's what I grew up doing was a lot of muskie fishing, figuring. Is that if I had more time, I want to do muskie fishing out there and then go for big salmon out of the harbors of like Door County, Wisconsin, Milwaukee Harbor. Because there's the scene up there. When I was just up there for the Canoeacopia, talking to a lot of local guys, and they said the scene's really starting to move. You're starting to see more, more paddlers, more kayak fishermen. Guys are out there, out there. Kayak clubs are putting stuff on kayak tournaments. And
Like what kind of salmon? Are we talking about like in the lakes? Like
Lake salmon.
Are they? Lake trout?
Yeah, like trout.
Lake
I
trout.
think that they got.
Lake trout or
Well, I know they have
or-
those.
Oh, they got. I think kings.
Yeah, do they come from saltwater somewhere? Do they come from out of the? Okay, because that's a long way. I mean, even if, coming across the lake is a long way coming out of the
That
north.
one, yeah,
you
that
know what I
one's
mean?
pretty far.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's thousands and thousands of miles.
Oh, the cool thing about when I was up in Wisconsin was this guy we were talking about like kayak fishing clubs and this and that, and he was saying, he's like, oh yeah, did you hear about the group of kayakers that fished that powerboat tournament, or with all those power boaters and won the whole thing?
Do I hear?
Yeah,
Oh.
and they were talking about it. I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, to fish that. They're like, oh, so like I didn't realize they said like in all their kayak fishing clubs and their paddling community in the Midwest, they said that was rampant. That news was everywhere, and they knew all the details on how the power boaters were pissed off, and they accused the kayakers of cheating and all that
so
shit.
That whole thing has been years. I mean, every time we did it, it seemed like the kayakers are like, oh, we need to. They tried to put limits on it. They were like, we're gonna tie them together.
Daisy chain them.
Yeah.
Daisy chain.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's for kayakers, especially if you have any kind of rub-ins with other boat-bound anglers. That's always some kind of cool news.
Oh yeah.
It's always something cool to go. Ha! And it was like that here because it was like the same kind of shit talking and all that stuff. And it was because Lee was there. I think I was working. And Lee was there, and he was like,
I went for the party.
Yeah, he went for the party. He's like, this shit's real as hell here.
Yeah,
These guys are at each other.
Having Jay heckling them when we're up there with the trophy.
And Joe, right? Joe Massini.
Yep. Guy from Boston and Jay with a couple beers as a Marine. We're gonna get our asses kicked before we get out of here. That was good, but it's just cool seeing the kayak fishing scene, like instead of not just Texas and Florida and the Chesapeake Bay, but moving everywhere. It's real cool seeing that.
Michigan. There's a guy, it's a hard last name.
Lemesser?
Yeah. He's a friend of mine from up there. He's come down here and fished. He's Michigan kayak.
Those guys came down for once or twice for the striper
they
fishing,
came striper, and then they caught some reds with this one year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I talked to one of the guys. He's with Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
One of them, yes,
Mike
He's
for the not so puppy drum fishing.
Yes.
Yeah, you and Mike did it.
Yeah.
He said they came for the TKA tournament.
Yep.
And then they went striper fishing at night at HRBT.
Yep.
Yeah, I met him. He said he had a blast.
They've also come down for like the big striper.
They did some guys did a cow fishing from Michigan.
He did, because he said he got skunked a couple times, and I showed him some pictures on my phone. He's like, if those things happen to come back and you're on call me, it's only 10 hours drive.
10 hours. Oh yeah, Michigan.
Michigan is
He said he can make
far, right?
he said he can make it in 10 hours from where he's at.
Yeah.
That seems
hard.
crazy because it's like 8 hours to New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's turnpikes and shit. So it's the reason
70 mile an hour
the reason why it's
speed
so
limits.
hard for us to go north is basically going through Delaware and shit. We're at
Speed
13.
limits.
Yeah, 13. You hit lights all the time. It's not an interstate going up the Eastern Shore until you get on the route 13. It takes you around it, but that's way up there. So I mean that's why it takes so long that way. But yeah, it's all like turnpikes and 10 hours. Yeah, that striper season, it's so hard. People, when they come down for the stripers, like it's such a hard fishery to go.
Yeah.
You'd be here for this, or if they show up, be here now. I mean, we haven't had this because it's so long.
You only
It's hard to say.
sat out there for a month.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did a lot of paddling, a lot of letting eels go.
I think you and I were one of the few this winter out of kayaks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, which is unbelievable because I haven't been able to catch one in forever.
Yeah, that was a good curse breaker. That was a
was awesome.
3-year curse breaker.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I have the last one on the movie. I had your one that you caught with Rick at night. That was your last one. And that was 2010.
That was the night Rick told me I smelled like a brewery coming across the... It got windy. I didn't think we were going, so I went to happy hour. I'd had like...
It was
2
shitty out
beers.
there.
I had my third beer, and Rick calls me, and he's like, we're going. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'm like a couple blocks from my house. I'll just come pick me up.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta ruin the back of the truck for the dog.
Yeah.
He's got nowhere to stay. Because I think I came over with him that night, and I stayed and rode back with you the next day.
Yep. Stayed at the lodge and rode back.
We didn't catch anything the next morning.
No. And I think I had caught something that day.
Yeah, it made us go over there. Yeah, we came over there at night, and it was actually good. I think we had a few bites.
No, you had one. I remember that day because it was funny because Rick hooked one and lost one again. And I got video of it. I just couldn't bring myself to put it in this next movie because then it'll be 2 movies in a row that Rick hooks and loses a striper.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, I just won't put it on there. I'll put it up for like a fish fight later on or something like that. But yeah, I remember that day, and then you got one. And what's cool, I used yours as an example of an eel dance.
Yeah.
Because you go, 5 seconds before the striper hits. You've seen the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, my eel's going ape shit right now for no reason.
Scared out of his mind doing this shit.
And you go, you do your hook set. You go, so
Hammer drill.
yeah, that was good. So Canoeocopia, this is probably the biggest. Oh yeah, we haven't done a beer report. Sorry, before we get into the next.
Today it's mine is Aleworks from Williamsburg, and this is the Chesapeake Pale Ale. It's good, standard ale. It's hoppy, not super alcoholic, but it's not not a whole lot of fruit flavor. It's pretty standard pale ale.
What you drinking, Becolay?
I have, I think, Devil's Backbone 8-point IPA. The Wisconsinite got me with seeing the deer head on there. I had to have it. And pretty good.
That's Wisconsin.
I had that a couple weeks ago. I think either with Rick or something.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You refill?
Yeah.
Go and grab mine. Dude, right there behind you.
So Canoeocopia is a kayak, is a paddle sports show.
Yeah,
It's
it's a monster.
Kind of like the Jersey show that I've been to. That's probably the biggest show that I've been at, and that's a pretty good one for this. But Canoeocopia is probably the bigger one for the mid.
Actually, it is fact, and I did find out that Canoeocopia annually is the largest paddle sports festival in the world.
Oh,
It's over 250,000 square foot of expo space. And every weekend, it annually has over 20,000 people coming through the doors.
Damn. What's the one out west? Like in Washington or something like that? There's another big one that I know
I can't remember.
guys out west do a lot. But I thought that was a pretty big one too.
Yeah.
From what I understand, that's a big one. But Canoeocopia is the biggest one.
Yeah, they say, yep, it's the biggest. Like,
What's the room size? What is the hall? Is it?
it's in downtown Madison, it's the Alliant Energy Center. It's like a monster, like, civic center. Just a huge, it's a beast. That, like, when we were setting up on Thursday, just the amount of vendors and the amount of booths, concessions, and it wasn't just the main room, it's the hallways. And then there's the Clarion Hotel that's attached to it, like, with a giant walkway with a big swimming pool that they do all the pool demos out of.
Yeah.
There's like a dozen different seminar speaking rooms, and there's wall to wall, elbow to elbow people everywhere.
How many seminars did you do?
I did 3 different I did Friday and Saturday. I did presentation on kayak fishing 101. Just because I kind of figured it was kind of with that area, instead of going over the top and talking real detailed, just getting their feet wet about it. And then on Saturday, I also did a demo of a pool of 5 essential techniques for kayak, for kayak angling. Basically showed your forward stroke, a sweep stroke, one arm paddling. Gave kudos to you on that. One arm paddling. How to stand up, and then I called it the Chesapeake Bay leg sweep. How to land? Because people are like, how do you land a big fish? How do you? I'm like, I'm not talking a 5-pound bass. I'm talking like a 30, 40-pound fish. Yeah. You just don't whip them and haul them. You're gonna turn. So I did it in the Predator MX on how you showed
With the
I don't know about them though with their muskie.
Well, chomp.
Sketchy on the scoop there.
But you can
it was spinning.
like I said,
Yeah.
in Lake Michigan, you get some good, some big steelhead, big fish like that. There's some big catfish, so you can.
Imagine some fucking catfish.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
sturgeon.
Oh, sturgeon?
Sturgeon. There's sturgeon in the rivers up there and stuff like that. So
Cool, good.
But yeah, the MX was perfect. Throwing the leg off and then taking your other, your right foot and pinning it.
Yeah, it was weird. It took me a second. Yeah, when I figured it out. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, first time I did it.
I practiced it and I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
That's
and,
where it's at.
Yeah. Leaning to get my center line, still in line with the boat, so I don't go over. But
Because when I did it, Lee was on the other side. He goes, "I can see the bottom of your boat."
and I was getting it out of the water. But once you get it out, the secondary stability of it is
Stinks.
pretty good.
Stinks.
Yeah.
Especially if you jam your foot here and your butt's still in, right butt or whatever butt cheek you're leaning on still in the
butt
center. Butt cheek.
But yeah, the seminars were crazy. Like my Saturday one, I had I think a good 100 people in the room.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a monster.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, people just kept coming and coming and coming, and
I saw a picture of you doing a paddle seminar. That's what it looked like.
yeah, I was explaining just the difference of the term low angle and high angle, and the ups and downs, and what if you haven't paddled before, how you can kind of figure
Well,
it
it's
out.
gotta be hard to think of a seminar to do at a show like that because every other seminar is probably gonna be close to what you're trying to cover. I mean, especially if you're doing 101 stuff. I mean, how many 101s were there that day, or
Actually, I was. There was only two. I think myself and like one other guy even talked anything really much about fishing.
Oh,
And then the
This
other
is all paddle sports.
right.
And
Yeah.
It
so
is like
they-
that at the Jersey show, but it was more. It was half and half.
It seems
You'll-
like
you'll
it
get-
seems like you're gonna start to get. I mean, the way it's growing, it's probably gonna change.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna,
Yeah, there was a
East
ton of
Coast.
stand up. There was a ton of guys like I was automatically thinking of like how you like to tour and camp. A ton of that. The guys like touring.
Yeah,
up.
well, that is. And the canoeing.
I was just saying your canoes,
yeah.
and a lot of them are transferring over to like kayaks and doing stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because
But
that's
it's-
what they do up
camping.
there. They have a million damn lakes and they portage
Yep.
over everything with their canoes and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how
there
they
was
do
a
it, right.
ton of that.
That's
And
their touring.
And
Yeah.
when I did the kayak fishing 101, there was nothing like it. The only other fishing one was like fishing, camping, and something like a certain region
Yeah.
of a state. But as far
So
as
you-
just general,
general techniques of kayak fishing.
that was the only one.
Oh, good.
So that's why there was so many people
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because
That's cool.
when you look through they're like, man, kayak fishing 101. There's nothing else about it.
Okay, good. I
So-
was picturing kayak fishing 101 from Chesapeake Bay guy, kayak fishing 101 from the Lake Ontario guy, kayak fishing 101 from the Mississippi River guy, kayak fishing 101 from
The cool thing was the fact that I've left the state and I've traveled, up and down the East Coast to fish, but yet I can still relate because I talk all the
Yeah.
lakes. I'm from there.
From there.
I say
That's-
talking the Wisconsin River, Lake Mendota, fishing Lake Winnebago for walleyes. And so I'm able to hit all different parts of the state.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so you can apply this to here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that went over real well.
Yeah. You get me talking about a seminar up there. Lake Wachapanamani,
they make the Winnipegos up there.
Winnebagos.
The,
Make Winnipegos up there.
I think probably, yeah.
I mean,
It would make sense. It's
Right.
not a common name.
he knows about the lake. He doesn't
Winnipegos.
have any idea.
It's
What are you
the
gonna
camper,
work
right?
when you move back home? Yeah, you gotta get a job at the Winnipego factory. Like all they have.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could make cheese.
Yeah.
There's plenty of that around
Beer.
here too. Yeah, a
Beer.
lot of
Yeah, beers.
breweries, a lot of
Yeah.
breweries. Yeah,
Laverne and Shirley.
that expo, man, that took it out of me. I was
Yeah.
torched after that thing. It was too busy.
I've done a couple of underwater demos. I like doing that.
Yeah.
'Cause you can show the paddle skills and you both spin
They
around.
didn't have
and
any
all of
water.
that. But the thing I've got is I've got a 25, 26-inch striper that I use for a prop. That
Poor fish.
well, it's,
Oh,
no,
dude,
it's
you
a
should sit
fiberglass. It's a fiberglass. Mountain Breeze Taxidermy made it for me.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's he made it thicker so I can beat it up, so I can throw it around,
Yeah.
so I can just kick it in the boat. And it's only about 26, and I drilled a hole in it, so I hook a thing to
That'd
it.
be
and
cool.
I show how to land it, and yeah, I even like throw it out there and like fight it, and actually bring it to the boat, but yeah, I'd use that for
That'd
demos.
be
That was
awesome.
cool. That was cool. Another thing we do on the water demos is like taking your fishing line and tying to the side, or having somebody hold it and walk around, and then you can steer show how to steer the boat with rod. I was
Yeah.
doing those at some demos too.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
The MX was awesome.
Yeah,
The pool, because when I was showing them like sweep stroke, I mean I was just going in
Yeah,
circles on the spot.
Yeah.
You know, because that thing just turns on a dime.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a boat I wanted. I was like, if I'm doing this pool, I want the MX.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Because it is the easiest one.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna do a spinning part in the next DVD, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough room. I'm trying to get this thing in an hour, so I might show it. I might film it and show it as a just a video online video. But yeah, that I'm thinking about what I'm trying to use. I don't want to use a real long boat because then I'll have to speed it up because it takes a
Yeah.
little while for a long boat to get
Right.
around. Yeah, but then if I'm using the MX, I feel like I'm cheating because I go
Yeah.
you know, it's just like spin 180, spin 180,
Use the 13.
13. Yeah,
Speaking of DVD, when can we expect
that's
that?
fall.
Fall?
Yeah, the striper segment's done. I just have to add some music to it, maybe. I'm working on the intro, endings, and I'm 90% done of the talk segment. I
Nice.
just have a couple things to film. Like we have to go out and I have to film coming off the piling with the anchor. I have to film bait messing with slocum, secret slocum baits, and yeah. So
I think they can start catching crabs soon.
yeah, I know. I'm looking at it, and water temperatures just hit 40. Woo! Around here, it's still winter. It's still damn winter. It's mid, goddamn March. It's still winter.
Yep.
But it's probably gonna jump. It's
Talk about
when it
snow on
happens.
Monday.
But not here. Right?
Yeah.
Really?
Is it?
You keep saying that. You keep saying that, and I look on the forecast.
And it
it's like
does.
I
40.
pulled up the
No.
I pulled up the weather underground like right before I texted you.
It still has
and
up
looked
there.
down. It was not a detailed forecast. It was
Right.
the weather underground, like the center icon.
Yeah,
on
and
the
it says
top
snow
row,
on it.
and it says snow
Yeah,
one
little
day.
snow thing.
High of 45, low of like 32 or
Oh,
something.
okay. It's not gonna stick. Nothing's gonna stick
Right.
from here on out. Yeah.
Goes from like 78 degrees
Bless you.
last week to this crap again.
That was interesting, yeah. But you know what's funny is that's kind of normal for around here. I mean, we get to 70 degrees to the 30 degrees shifts, but all over the country was having it, and I was like laughing, going, we're like up in even in Wisconsin or something,
Yeah.
they had like some 70 or 60 degree days or something. We're not that far out, probably like Indiana or the lower part of the Midwest. I
Yeah, they
guess.
got, I think in the 50s one day this year.
Yeah.
One day.
No, I don't even know.
Oh my God.
Before, they've, like where my sister's from in Minneapolis, this season they've had 50 days of sub-zero temperatures. And,
Record breaking. All this shit's
yeah,
record breaking.
only
right?
one day, up until I think last week, was only one day this year was a hit 40 or above. I mean, that's flipping cold, man.
Every day.
Keep it.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta
Yeah.
wake up to this shit every day.
Yeah.
And it's that real cold too. It's that like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's probably windy
Cold.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're gonna try taking the MX for big res this year?
No, I can't. I don't like paddling that thing for distance, man.
Yeah.
I saw a mile.
It'd be fun as shit though.
You weren't paddling. It was if you were next to me after I get over a mile in that thing, I'm bitching.
Yeah.
I'm bitching. I'm going, God damn, this thing's. I was like, I need to start like paddling my ultimate ultra 4.7 and towing the MX behind me because I like fishing out of
Like
that thing.
mothershipping
Yeah, I
the
like
thing.
just so I can get to the spot and get out and get in this thing.
Yeah.
Paddle around, stand up in this thing, and then paddle the good boat, the fast boat out. But yeah, I don't like paddling that far. I mean, we did for the Reds, the Eastern Shore, and that was a mile and a half, almost 2 mile paddle, and that was enough. That was
Yeah.
in that boat. Yeah, yeah. But I'm not gonna. No, I think Rob is going to try to use his, and plus the winds. The winds
It
in the
takes
spring,
you.
yeah, it's just too much. We need
Yeah.
the low profile
Yeah.
Tridents out there. You know, we need those out there.
I mean, the one benefit would be like, you're more stable, so you're gonna be able to stand
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah,
But the
it's the distance.
downside is
It's the distance.
you're gonna be tired as
and
shit.
and the wind and the distance. The winds always come up and it's wide open out there, so that gets hit. There's no
You
there's no
get caught
hiding.
with that.
Actually, the only time I've been able to hide from the wind was when it was wavy, and
Right.
getting in between the troughs of the wind waves knocked the wind out because the old wind was up here.
Oh, yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah, but not that. I'm not gonna take that boat on. It's just too many distance. Too far.
Yeah,
it's all
that's
too
a
far.
clip.
Yeah, it's just 15-mile days. There's no way we can paddle that with that thing. I can't. I wouldn't want to anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna Tridents for that. Yep. I think Lee's gonna try to get a. He's gonna try to get the ultra.
4.3, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that gonna be your new
the
one?
small one.
Think
He's gonna
so,
try to
yeah.
get that one. Yeah, because you still got the Trident 13.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new big game too?
Not in person, but
It's cool.
When they said they're going to put the big seat on that, I was like, perfect. That's meant for that.
Yep.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what that boat's for. You should put.
It fits it.
Yeah.
I sat in it this weekend. The pod comes up is more raised than like our typical Trident.
But that always was kind of high up on that.
Yeah.
Thing too. Yeah.
They got the plates just like the Predator.
Yeah, I saw
the
that.
mounting plates. Similar hull design. It looks like it could be a pretty cool boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Did they change the hull?
I don't think they changed it too much from what I heard. When I asked them,
It was a kind of bargy boat.
it's still a little bit
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Like I think when I was getting my 13 for this year, it was like one of those. It's like I'm not gonna paddle that much. I mean, it'd be cool, but I wouldn't do it right. I wouldn't paddle. The Predator, I like that. I like fishing out of it. I will get pictures in this. Yeah. I would. I liked it. I like it a lot. I walk around in that thing. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But especially short distances. I mean,
Sure.
HRBT. Well, hopefully when the stripers come up, I'm gonna paddle that there.
I took it there
Yeah.
this winter, and I just happened to have one of those shit nights where there was nothing up in the light and nothing down below wanted bite. But I took it out, and it was great because I was like picturing. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Well, if all of a sudden you go past a piling and there's a fish there, and you want to turn on it,
Yeah.
you hit the brakes and you turn, and
Yeah.
you're 45 degrees in a second.
Well, it's because
Drifter style.
that
Yeah.
it really it reminds. As soon as I got it in, I was like, "Oh, this thing feels like a drifter." It has that spinability like the drifter did.
Yeah, I
That's
never
what-
So the wind,
paddled
you're
that.
just you're just so much higher in the air,
Yeah.
susceptible to the wind in it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
difference.
That is the thing in it. That is the thing is the wind is really affected on that. And that's the thing about high gunnel boats. If you want those boats, those boats aren't the best for open water.
Right.
Guys will. I want to do this and that and this, but I want to get this and that and that. Well, this is gonna be good for this. This is gonna be good for this, and this you can do.
You want to
this,
do a whole
but-
bunch of stuff. You need to be either need more than one boat,
Right.
or you need something
That's-
all-purpose like the Trident.
Trident.
I was just gonna
series.
say that
So
the
all-purpose.
T13, man.
Trident 13.
They're so
because
all-purpose.
They stand up. They stand up to storage. You can camp out of them. You
They
can
paddle well.
distance with them. All that
Yep.
stuff.
They've got all the hatches.
Yeah, yeah. And it's low. And that's the thing is when we did that demo, the Wild River demo, it was windy as fuck. I mean, it was like blowing 15 in that little waterway at the
Oh,
narrow.
that was shitty
It was
weather.
blowing.
I didn't go to that, but
Yeah, it was
horrible.
blowing. But what was great is the low gunnel Trident 13. People could
Perfect.
control it in the wind.
Yeah.
Guys were like, "This is the only one I've been able to control out here because it's so low to the water that it doesn't affect you that bad." You guys the guys were getting in the higher gunnel boats and they were getting blown all around. So, yeah, if that's the thing, if you're open water, low gunnel boats, and yeah. But if you can still paddle a 13 in the backwaters and be comfortable with that too. So that's why,
yeah.
that's why we consider that the all around.
All around, yeah.
Yeah. But I do like the Predator, man.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple places like where I live in the Newport News area that I want to take to, but
Distance.
some of the spots I like to go. It's a 4-mile paddle, and there's not a chance in hell I'm doing it.
Yeah. Now you've been hunting out of the Predator.
Yeah.
How far a paddle is that?
That
You're not going too far for that.
I
You
think-
got a lot of equipment. too.
the farthest I went was actually the farthest I did go was I think it was around a mile.
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it wasn't the smartest thing to do. It was because I was so heavy. I had like I had 6 dozen, so 72 duck decoys. I had half of them in
Is that a
front.
lot? I mean, how much
It's a shitload.
poundage is that?
What?
A lot.
Were you having water coming up through the scuppers? I have not. Put
Oh,
enough,
yeah.
I have not put enough weight in that thing to have water come up through the scuppers yet.
I had water that was I was so low that I had that much. You know how the
Yeah.
threads are.
Yeah.
It was flush with that.
Okay.
And
I have
so
not
I was
yet gotten
heavy.
that much water in
and
that thing.
the bad part was like any bit of wind. I mean, even wind at 5 knots would like.
Yeah.
You were acting like, it was almost like white water.
Even
Just-
with the weight, and that's the thing is, with boats that have a medium-sized gun, you put more weight in it, you get lower. But this thing is so much weight can put in,
Yeah.
it's sticking out.
But I mean, the thing is what I did that day. You would never. It would be tough to do in any other kayak because one day I didn't have much far of a paddle, but I came back and it was like around Christmas, and that's when we had some days that like it was really, really windy and the temperature dropped below freezing in the middle of the day, and all my decoys had like a 1/4 inch of like glazed ice on them.
Damn.
So I had to add all that weight onto it back, and it was borderline maxed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put it. I wouldn't want to take anything else with me. But it's a
6
great
dozen
boat.
decoys is your limit.
Yeah. I don't know.
And you also have the covering. You bring that out to the camouflage.
Yeah, I have
grass.
cattail nets.
How
I
many
got
ducks do you get to shoot for 6 dozen decoys?
that day I think I got like 3 or 4.
Okay, I hear you.
That's all right. So you want some 2 meals? 3
Oh, yeah,
meals?
Yeah, I mean,
there's-
that's shooting ducks, but I mean,
ducks
that's...
when the meat, your body's about that big when it's done, all said and done, right? When it's cooked up.
It definitely it's not worth like if you would say, you know, oh boy, this duck breast, well, probably that duck breast is probably like $180 with all the time, money,
Yeah, well,
and hours, you know.
Right.
but-
I don't put those numbers.
Yeah, no,
no,
People
no.
try to do that with fishing. We're like, no, go buy your fish if you're going to try,
Yeah,
try to put money into it.
Yeah.
Because if you're really like out here, you don't even.
Yeah.
You don't even play like you're out here trying to just like because you're getting like you're out here because it's fun. I mean that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
that's why you buy fish. You don't out here because I'm getting groceries, but you're out here because
I mean,
Yeah.
my man goes for groceries.
Yeah. Well, tuna fishing
Tom.
too, but that
Yeah,
is
my
also
man Tom.
Yeah. But also like that is but when you come you can buy fish for much less.
Oh yeah,
But, you know,
and it's a whole lot more time effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, with kayak and duck hunting, man, it's I was going in the areas that boats.
What's
you
your
know,
what's your limits on ducks here?
you can get 6 ducks per day.
Okay.
And then there's different species, like you can only get 1 of this, or you can
Right.
shoot 6 of that.
But mallards are the main.
There's a lot of mallards. You get a lot of black ducks around here.
Bubbleheads.
Yeah, a ton of them damn things.
This is small. I mean, this thing's got to be this big one.
I shot a lot of them, and their breast meat literally is like nothing. But
They're
it's
cool
fun.
looking.
Yeah, they're cool as hell.
Yeah.
They fly fast because they're small.
Real fast.
So
and low.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be times where I shot my decoys probably half a dozen times this year, but like you see pattern go, like looked like it would go right through it, and this damn thing's still flying. You're like, how the hell did you get through that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun hunting out of your kayak.
How much setup time before you can sit down? And because that's what's cool about the Predators, it's actually a comfortable seat. I mean, I sit out when I take a break from editing. I'll go outside, and if it's nice outside, I'll sit in my Predator seat.
That boat is
Sitting out back.
very comfortable.
So you go out and you put out your decoys and you get your stuff set out. And how long does that all take?
When I take 72, when I'm by myself, it'll take me about an hour.
Wow, an hour setup.
Yeah, and
Before you
that's
settle in.
moving. That's if I'm like I already know in my head exactly where each decoy is going, based on the wind direction and based on what species I'm targeting. I know exactly how I want to set it up, and I already have I layer the decoys in the bag. So I know how
Where
to
it goes out.
Like as I'm
Yeah.
pulling out, I'm putting them in a line here. Then I put a group here and a group there.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm on it, an hour. But like there's been times like where it was a real high tide where I'm hunting. Like if I'm hunting the James where I'm walking out my waders and I'm like on my tiptoes because the water's about like this to come over, and I'm just like trying to get my decoy, trying to set my decoys out. And, yeah.
And this has got to be done like you try and put your decoys out before sunrise.
I'm setting them out about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I didn't know it was that early in the morning.
Yeah.
It's cold.
That's
Yeah.
why I told Alex, I was like, man, maybe I'll duck hunt next year, man. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, we go real early.
Early.
Like,
You're like,
I get up like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like,
Yeah.
count me out.
Yes, count me out.
Yeah,
Never
I'm good.
mind.
Yep.
Never mind.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Thought it was a kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, I could go out
Details.
like, because I was over at his house, and he's like, one of his buddies called him like at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And he was
Yeah.
like, man, let's go blast some geese. And it was like a possibility they were going to go blast some geese, and I was just going to videotape it
Right,
that day. But
right.
they ended up not going.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if this is like duck hunting, if I get to wake up at like 6, 7
Yeah.
o'clock,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Roll
Go
out
or
there.
even be out there at 6, 7 o'clock. But
Nope.
no.
Setting up.
These things are moving around like as soon as the sun comes up.
Yeah.
That's been the best time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm wanting to already have a cup of coffee down, and for me, I like to have my blood, my heart rate down, and that way I'm able to work the duck call the way I want it and just be calm.
And you got like ones with the wings flapping and all that.
Yeah,
too,
I got the one on the stake.
Right.
Since
Yeah.
about, I got him on a remote control. So I mean, birds are weary. I mean, they're looking around. They've been getting shot at down the whole eastern shore. So like they'll be circling, and I'll hit the remote, lock his wings up that way. It looks like it's just hovering, and you give him a little bit of confidence just to bring him down to smoke him.
Blam, 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 blam.
Yeah.
Do you hear gunshots all day while you're out there? Like people are just blasting all around you all the time?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Sometimes you'll hear a lot of guys going at it.
But it doesn't sketch out other ducks if they're. I mean, I guess like you said, it's normal for them to.
They start getting used to it until I guess it's close to them. You know what I mean?
Well, Virginia's crazy. Like where I'm from.
Until their buddies start exploding.
Yeah, I mean, well, Virginia, you can't have a licensed blind within 500 yards of each other. So the closest blind is 500 yards. That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of room in between.
Still, I mean, you could definitely hear a shotgun from.
Oh, you can hear.
Yeah.
But I mean, where I grew up, it wasn't uncommon to have 150 yards, and yours another 100. I mean, everywhere. I mean, it sounded like Vietnam.
You guys are trying to work, like, are you trying to work together at that point, or
no, these
every man for
every man. Yeah.
You guys are just basically anti-aircraft batteries.
yeah. That's exactly. That's exactly.
Bam, 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 bam.
I've been hunting like a part of a river before where like the poor bastard is flying down, and you'll hear it. It's like boom, boom, boom.
He's like,
boom, 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 boom. It's getting louder, and you're like, oh, he's still coming down the river. Then you hear the guy next to you go, bam, 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 and you're like, waiting. Here he comes, just getting it.
Yeah.
And then you just throw it at him. The chances are you probably miss, but you're like, that poor duck's just got shot at by like, 9 different hunters.
He's going like
everything has gone up.
Yeah,
going like
exactly. What he needs to do is get a little elevation, he'd be good, but nope, he's just right in the tree line. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, well, fun except for the part of getting up so early.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And people ask me.
No, that's the impossible part.
Impossible part. Well, see, people ask me if I hunt, and I'd rather go shoot. I'd rather go shoot at stuff rather than shoot at something.
When is seagull season? You know what
That would be fun.
I mean? Right. I'm saying I'm in.
Yeah, they can't taste good.
No, I'm just saying when is seagull season.
Actually, man, have you been overseas with the Marine Corps or with the Air Force?
I have.
Have you been to Okinawa?
I was stationed there 2 years.
No seagulls there? Do you remember no seagulls? There was no birds in the air. The only thing that was flight in the air were the fruit bats. I don't remember any seagulls when I was there.
You know what?
They ate them bitches.
I
don't remember any
all the
shorebirds. I don't remember any birds bigger than a sparrow.
Yeah.
And the biggest things I seen in the air were fruit bats. And they were like
There's
cats.
a lot of them, yeah.
They were like fucking cats.
What?
Like cats. And like with
They're big.
wingspans.
They're big as shit. They're huge.
Like, cats hanging
They
like
come out at like.
no, in the middle of the day they're hanging in the tree looking at you. Going to the commissary and shit. Just fucking looking at you.
I would love to kayak fish out there.
I wish I walked around the reefs and stuff,
Yeah.
just exploring.
I went snorkeling and shit out there.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Well, I see every once in a while. I look at Japanese kayak fishing guys, and there's actually ocean kayak guys on. There's a Japanese guy, and it seems like it's a tough fishery over there. A lot of it is because it's never been regulated, so they have a real tough fishery.
Right.
A lot of inshore stuff in third world countries. Not saying Japan's third world, but it was for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no limitations for a long time. But a lot of places like Jamaica. I was looking at Jamaica, going, I wonder if you can make a kayak fishing service there, and start researching, and the shit's wiped out.
They don't have
There's
anything.
nothing inshore.
Oh, they're happy about catching dog sharks. and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's nothing inshore because it's been wiped out for as long as people have been there. I mean, that's what
Makes sense, yeah.
And it's
The only
pelagic stuff moved through, but it's
The
pelagic.
only thing they get down there are like bonefish, and that is it.
Yeah.
Like they don't get. You don't see the tarpon catches.
Yeah.
You don't see the permit catches. I mean, permit look like they might taste good. They look
Yeah, I
like a
guess
big-
they would,
They
because
look like
they
a
look
big
like a-
pompano, man.
Right.
I mean,
And
I
that's
don't
the
eat
same
jack.
family. They're the
They kinda
same
look
family.
like a jack
But
crevalle, but they definitely look more like a pompano.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're the same family as pompano. I mean,
Pompano
they're
are delicious. And crevalle, jack crevalle.
They don't eat those in
Jack
down
crevalles
south.
don't look.
I don't think they eat pompano down south. I think they don't even eat them here.
Pompanos are good. That's why I say permit's got to be
Yeah.
delicious.
Want to answer a question?
Yeah.
All right, from Jeff.
We haven't done none of that.
What
shit.
makes a Trident better for distance over other yaks?
Oh, well, we covered a little bit of that, just what the highlights of it. But the hull shape itself is just a paddling hull shape. It's
The bow entry is smooth. The lines.
really smooth. I mean, it's just if really when you look at a boat, you want to look at it like a boat, like you were looking. Really roll it over and look at the hull. I mean, first thing when you go and look at a boat, you're looking at the hull. If it's a V hull, it's a flat bottom, whatever type of boat it is for the type of fishing you want to do. So that's one thing you want to look at. But the Trident, it's like a speedboat. I mean, it's a real. It's not super long, but it feels like a long boat. It paddles like a long boat. Nose in the water and tail in the water. It doesn't have a lot of rocker. It actually has a little bit of anti-rocker. So when you're looking at it, the nose and the tail are lower below the midsection, so it gives it that stability, but also has the speed with that much boat in the water. That's my view of it.
You summed it up.
Yeah.
And then from Justin, what weather apps do you guys use on your smartphones for winds, tides, etc.?
Yeah,
Buoy
I don't.
weather and fish weather, but I pretty
use
much
fish
use
weather.
the
Our links page.
the links page on Kevin's website.
I looked at
It's my homepage.
I looked at the
internet.
links page, like views, and it's retarded how many views that gets because we use
Everybody asks
We
me,
use
and
it.
that's exactly what I tell them. My neighbors that fish in their boats, I'm like, man, all that I
it.
use
Use it at
is
the tackle
right
shop.
there.
I mean, I use it like whenever. My website has all the links that we use for here. I mean, that's basically there's 2 or 3 different weather places that you can look at, and that's what we do. We kind of look at two or three different ones, kind of get an idea of what the wind's looking right, and you don't kind of go on one and stick with it. Fish weather seems to be the best, especially 24 hours out. That animated one really works good. I don't have any apps on my phone. I just look at that. Yeah,
I've got the buoy weather app and I've got the fish weather app.
Yeah, fish weather.
Do you have the fish weather app? Is that pretty cool? I haven't tried it.
I
It's
don't
not.
use it that much.
Yeah.
I use the fish weather off your website.
Yeah.
The old fish weather app.
Yeah.
It's good for a quick reference, just to kind of get an idea of like wind direction and stuff like that. That's all I use, is basically fish weather. I used to use Scout Look, but I was having issues with it, so I'll use that once in a while.
All right. Any more questions on there? What you got, Lee?
No, that's it.
Was that talking about the Mob Jack Bay? That's still like 50 miles north of us. We don't fish there that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you redfish
Oh, somebody wanted
anywhere,
to know about your camera angles, Richie.
Yeah, just-
your GoPro camera. I'm guessing they're asking about Richie because we've always said we don't use
Yeah,
GoPros,
you guys think
so
or that was Rogowski being a smartass.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
maybe it was last week, but nobody got to see it. Anyway, we don't use GoPros, so
Right.
Somebody asked about GoPros.
When I use
was
GoPro, I use something that I nicknamed the Choi Pod instead of a tripod. Rob's extendable monopod.
Yeah.
I use that with the gorilla, like a gorilla arm or gorilla mount on it. And then actually a lot lately has been the Yak Attack dog bone with the panfish portrait on a 1.5-inch screwball off gear track. I mean,
Panfish
that
portrait.
shit's awesome. You can get any sort of angle.
Those
I like that
Yak
one.
stuff, man. You can get any angles from
Yeah.
that stuff.
It's kind of
The
it's
materials
almost
are lightweight. You can put the cameras way out.
What's
or
kind of
close.
messed up is I can go out by myself and kind of get shots as good as you guys being there with me. It's almost like put you out of a job. It's
Yep.
kind of messed up, but it's
It's true. I mean,
because remember the day that I caught the 6 in a row? I was by myself, the 6
Yeah.
reds, and that was the panfish, and all those shots looked excellent. I mean,
Yeah.
all those shots were like, boom, that's magazine good enough. You know, it was just the angle, and then I even get the dog bone one, the longer one. I
Yep.
can get shots.
Yeah.
I mean, straightened up.
The
It's
stuff, the
perfect.
extensions for the cameras, the length you can get out. I mean,
Yeah,
with the Yak Attack stuff is just awesome.
and with the GoPro because it's such a light camera, you can get that anywhere. But like you and Rob got the real extended ones, and the what I call the Rob release shots. You know, with the camera front. Yeah.
Yep, that's a cool angle. It's tough now because so many angles have been done. It's like, okay, I have ideas on what I want to do this year, but some of that shit's hard, man.
Yeah.
But like with your camera, your big ass cameras, being able to run those like way extended far out, man,
With the wide angles,
that'd be tough. That's
Oh
heavy.
no!
That's what I mean
that.
with yours.
No, they're just heavy.
It's heavy, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can't put those on
No chance in hell.
Me and
You can't
Luther
put them
were
on a
talking
pole
about
or
that.
anything.
We were trying to.
2x4.
Me and
Yeah.
Luther were actually brainstorming about it. He was brainstorming how to get my weight cameras, but since I'm kind of like the only one who uses these cameras, it's not really
Not
a production.
marketable,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not marketable for him. But he was talking about using like the rail systems and having like two, like almost a tripod system, so he could.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, and then you
It'd be a
end
lot.
up with in the way.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
It would take out my crate, and you would have to use that and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So it's the way we have it is secure, but it's He was looking at it and was going, it's just not marketable, but because everybody uses the lighter cameras,
Yeah.
the GoPro cameras, and light cameras like that. Our cameras are 5 pounds a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they shake when they're up on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was
That's
just
why-
gonna say your
Oh,
stability.
dude, ours
Well,
zip
that's
ties
why-
are tight. And
You know,
a lot
but
of
still,
them.
even
Yeah.
when we reel, the boat shakes and the stern cam shakes. And whenever you see, watch the editing.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you see me reel down, I go to bow camera because they ain't gonna shake. This camera's going. Every time I reel down, that camera just shakes its ass off, and so I always cut to bow and then go back to here when I'm like pulling up, and then reel down, bow, pull up, bow, stern, bow.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
It looks
it works.
awesome.
It works. But yeah, but sometimes I want to get that like that stern shot, but that camera's just rocking up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think we have any other questions.
Richie's checking himself out on Facebook.
Oh yeah. What the hell is that?
Probably get Rogowski in here next week then.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him in here again because we missed. Yeah, the guy said. I think he also said on one of the questions that
Jack.
Jack gets like
Sheep said-
Jack gets like comment of the day on this thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Dude,
like
the sheep
yeah.
said, do you think they're mad because
Our sheep said angry because they have all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Like, ah, bam, like on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, another guy
About
said
the
up there.
object or
No, the other one was the striper stuff from the last podcast, and I don't remember what the hell we were talking about last podcast. So I'm not sure if we were talking about wintertime. But if you want to know anything about that wintertime fishery over at Kipto Peak, on my website I have the Kipto how-to, and I think it's up on the top somewhere. But that has a pretty good all about what to do over there. In springtime, it's just we paddle around and sight cast for them, and there's a
it's
small
basically we
window.
run into them drum fishing.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're never over there striper fishing.
Yeah, we hope that we hope that there's usually about a week that they're there, and we usually kind of look for them then, and after that we're not looking for them, but we're really drum fishing and we came across them. And the second DVD has a great shot of that.
Yeah.
A great shot of that where Lee and Mike cornered them and they made them stack on top of each other, so they were like on top of their fins coming out.
Just
And that was-
literally
and I was like
Unreal.
completely filmer that. I was like, okay, I'm just going to shoot this because
It's worth more.
We throw top water poppers
Yeah.
and it's just explosions.
Yeah.
I mean,
like the video you got is way worth more than you even catching a couple of them.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's-
oh, and he did. I mean,
Yeah.
and he did.
And then I sat down and made some gas.
Dude, he took some video. He took some video, and then I mean, we all caught him. We caught him for a while.
Yeah, that was too good. I knew that I was going to have to get this.
They-
I was gonna have to-
and
and I was
they broke-
standing. And I was
Yeah.
standing.
They
and shooting.
broke up, and we chased him for another mile and caught him like
Bang, bang.
every
hammer
time
them.
we would see him.
Yeah.
We'd all catch him again. I mean, we caught a bunch of them that day.
It's weird about the springtime stripers is you can hammer them. You got to cut them, get them early. You hammer them enough, they go, or they start sprinting. And that's crazy. You trying to chase down stripers sprinting in the shallows. I mean, like a school, they look like bonefish, and because they're dark and they're tight together, so they're like moving these like tight little schools, and they haul ass. I remember trying to chase one. I chased the school for a mile, and they were just moving. I mean, and when they're moving like that, you can't get cast on. They're like they don't want nothing. So you can kind of beat them up in the morning, and that's about it. And that only lasts for about a week. And we didn't get that last year, because it was. I remember when it was because Harry got it. Harry Heimer got it. It was a windy week. Harry had a small window where the winds died out in the afternoon, and he got out there and they were there. And then they're
And the
gone.
only other ones that we know of was the one that Joe caught when we, in the middle of the drum.
Yes,
We caught
yes.
all that.
Yeah, that
And
40
he
signature.
he stood up in the middle of a school of drum and somehow
cast into a drum.
cast
we
into
thought was drum and
cast into a school
cut a
striper.
striper.
I lost one last spring. I was with Doug out of Maryland, and he caught one. And right after he caught one, I hooked up with one and lost it. And
Striper or
striper. Yeah. I think his was 43 inches.
Yeah, they're skinny.
Yeah.
That's
The one we
they're
found
average.
almost dying on the Mars, or died on the
That
Mars.
bitch was 48 though.
Yeah, that was a big
That was
fish.
huge.
Fish,
Yeah, that was
man.
big. That was we saw that was like woof. Because usually they're 43s. It seems like that's
Yeah.
the age that's there for some reason. They come through there. That's the ones that always come through there. But there's like then again you get some 46s.
Damien
caught it 46.
Damien caught the citation drum and the citation striper in the same day.
Yeah.
That one might have died. I mean, maybe just from age and spawning,
Yeah.
just
It
fatigued.
wasn't. I don't even know that thing even made it to spawn.
That's what I
It
mean,
was
just
so big. It
old.
was. I mean, it was so fat. I mean, it looked like it was thick enough to have been dead and
No, we cut it open. There was no.
rotting, but we saw it alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Dying.
Yeah, it was
So
alive.
we cut it open and
It was,
took
it
to
was
see what
alive,
it
and we
was
tried to
eating.
revive it. Eyeball had taken bitten out of it by the.
Yeah.
by the eagle.
Oh.
There was
By
a,
the
there was a bald
eagle,
eagle.
yeah.
that sitting-
Oh yeah, because Rob
Yeah,
got
he went
shots
and
of
shot
that.
it,
Rob. Yeah. We left it so Rob could get shots, and,
Yeah.
and he got awesome shots.
We
and
went,
he'll
we
move
went and
back
played
over
with
there.
it. We went and like,
We
saw
cut his stomach open.
We actually tried to
took the
release it
brain out
because
of
we touched it and went like, blam! We're like, oh, this thing's still alive. We tried to get in the water. It was way dead though. It wasn't near. So we cut it open to see what was in the belly. It was post spawn. It had 2 big menhaden in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't even. It wasn't thin like the spawned out
Yeah.
fish. I mean, it was like it hadn't even spawned. I mean, this fish was just
big.
Just like a
menhaden,
winner.
stomach
48?
full- Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
48?
just thick around the tail.
And
Everything.
it's so weird because I held it, I picked it up, and it's so weird holding a fish on land.
Yeah.
It felt weird.
It
I
was
was like, what?
so heavy
Yeah, it
to
was-
him too.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
man, this.
This thing has got some weight to it. I'm not used to handling fish, standing like big fish standing.
And he
on
did
land.
it like Guggen style too.
Yeah.
He got it by the mouth.
Yeah,
and
just like
straight
that,
up in the
Yeah.
air. You know what I mean?
But yeah, those windows are
There goes
kind of
that.
short. What happened there?
How many people have been watching?
That was 11. I don't know where the fuck.
People are gone now. You just lost your folks. See you.
Where am I? Oh,
There
there
it
we go.
is.
Okay. Must have like. Don't know if I dropped out. It's still recording. We're still going.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happened quick, so we wasn't like we missed nothing. All right. Yep.
Yeah, we covered all the questions.
Yep. Except for Mob Jack 1, and like I said, we don't. Fish there?
Don't even go there.
Yeah.
I've never even thought about going
I've
there.
paddled
One.
past it. Yeah. Yep. Like I said, we're Galski in here next week's podcast, and pretty soon, hopefully, we're gonna be fishing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it's. I mean, it looks like it's a warm up a little bit. I mean, it's going to warm up. The water temperature is unbelievably still 40 degrees right now, which is way too cold for us to be starting to tog. Still, I like to go togging at 50.
Yeah.
That's when I like to go, and so we hopefully maybe 2 more weeks before
Yeah.
we do
Hopefully
that.
2 weeks, man. It just depends on the weather.
Yeah, and then I'll be camping on East
It
Shore.
won't. It'll be fast, and we'll be drum fishing this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I have to tog fish. Gotta get a shot. So
Yep.
I have to tog fish with you.
I'm ready. I like it.
Yeah, I had fun. Last year we did, especially with Rob, and he closes out that segment too. His fish.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be great.
Because Lee, I tell you, man, it was this talk segment on the DVD is gonna be a little deceiving because I'm using like 5 years worth of fish, and it's you catching, and we're catching like 22s all the time. It's not like that. Those are like big fish from 5 years. So when
Yeah,
that
we
comes
catch
out.
like 2 or 3 of those a year.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see. I do have some smaller fish, but it looks like we just catch fucking 22s and 23s all of the
Just
time.
hammer 'em all the time.
Yeah, it just seems like it, but it's not. I mean, it's just 5 years worth of filming on these collection of these tog footage. But yeah, like you start off with your citation. I think you start off with your shit talking, and then you do a whole bunch more shit talking, and then I have you just catching a big one. Which was interesting because it wasn't a good fight.
No,
It
not
was
at
a
all.
sluggish.
The fish didn't even
up.
battle at all.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I told you, I was like, it's heavy, but it's not even mad yet. And she got to the top and flopped a couple
Yeah.
times. And,
Like, whoa! And you
Yeah.
saw the size of it, like, oh, that's it. And I was like reeling up and getting over to you.
I mean, it was a huge fish, but
Yeah.
just just so pregnant, fat, spring, and the water was so cold still.
That's right.
It was one of our first trips out.
That's right. And we were in the deeper water area.
All
too.
lethargic and everything.
Rob's was
Yeah.
a good fight. Rob's
Was
a good
it?
fight.
Oh, yeah.
It was sketchy. It was sketchy because he got when he
Hung
saw
up
it.
and
He got,
everything.
Well, because he
got
had
hung up
the-
and everything.
he got
too.
well. I think I don't know if he got hung up or if that fish was just fucking big and was not giving him nothing because he's using kind of a lighter rod.
Right.
Because when he bows up, the rod tip doesn't go nowhere. The rod tip just stays there. You know, it stays right here. And he goes, he was like, what the fuck? Because he thinks he's hung, then things starts moving, and he's like, whoa, and he starts securing his paddle, and then it comes up the surface, and he sees it, and everybody sees it, and it breaks the water.
Knows number 6.
It breaks the water, and he's like, oh boy, and it's all real serious, and he gets in it, and boom, he lands it. But it's just like, for that second, like, he's all kind of like, rod like this, and trying to, just,
one of those trying to be perfect thing, like.
Yeah. Well, luckily with Tog, you hook them with those big rubber lips. You usually hook them.
Yeah, you get them right next to the boat. Normally, you got them.
Yeah. They're not like a speck where they're going to come off or a flounder that's going to come off. It's you pretty much got Togs when you hook them.
Specs will be a tough fish this year.
I
Big
spec.
I don't think so, man.
I don't know,
think
man.
so.
I don't know. And I think, well, if not this year, it'll be next year. These things
Although
grow fast.
I don't know, we caught we caught the giant ones in our places this year, and we haven't caught them there years before.
And they've had fish
all I
kills.
can say is that if we caught giant ones there, 4-5 years
Right.
ago, so
Right. I think we're on a normal cycle.
If in a few years we start to notice the fish are getting bigger and bigger every year, that something natural just happened.
Yeah, and then they either die out.
I mean,
like
why
that,
are those giant fish still around here if it gets cold anyway? You know what I mean?
Because
they couldn't, or were they not strong enough to migrate?
Because they do migrate. That's
Right, because
they
they
do. Tagging
speckled
data
trout
shows
migrate.
the migrations.
So are they big and strong, and they don't, or big and not just? They weren't going to make it
And
in
it's-
the
and
open
it's not
ocean.
like-
I mean,
and it's
imagine when they travel in the ocean. What is traveling in the ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know
they're
what I
not
mean? The
fastest
king
fish.
mackerel are
Right.
traveling in the ocean at that point.
And they're soft.
The drum are traveling in the ocean at that point. I mean, they are food
Yeah.
for everything that moves in the ocean at that point. So, do the big ones not leave because they're not?
The only thing I can say about this year is it was a late winter, and that's maybe what surprised them. But still, daylight hours, fish go on daylight hours, fish go on, sun heights and all that shit. So you would think that they would
And
move.
we saw this a few years ago.
Yeah, we did. We
saw
yeah, we saw you
too.
too.
And you got to imagine the fish were dying all over the place too.
Yeah. And
I wasn't even on Facebook then to
Yeah.
pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people were finding dead fish, and we were seeing dead ones in Rudy, and then ones that were barely
Giant.
swimming around in Rudy, and they were the giant fish.
29, 30
And a
inches.
couple years later, here we are, we're catching giant fish in the same
Yeah.
places. I mean, people were catching when giant was in Rudy. That's not where we fished.
Maybe
primarily, but-
these die outs are the shit that happens.
It's like
with these
Yeah,
babies.
I mean-
cycle type.
Because
shit.
it doesn't. It does. There's a few smaller ones, but these fish are generally like adult size,
But,
large
but,
fish.
but we
you know
did.
what I
But we
mean?
did have. Remember, we had that year of 12 inchers. Remember, everybody was
really?
catching 12. Yeah, but
No,
the
no,
next
but
year.
I'm saying the ones that are dying.
Yes,
that
oh,
we're
oh,
dying
yeah.
are big fish. They're
Yeah.
not. You're not seeing 12
inches.
inches
No,
dead.
not 12.
Those fish
Are
took
moving.
off and out of here.
or can survive in the
Yeah,
shallows.
and not very many 18 or 19 inches either. I mean,
Yeah,
these fish
it's
are
big.
generally
Yeah,
usually
22
big fish.
And that's the thing is
29.
maybe they're
Are they old?
at the end of
Is
their
that-
age.
Right.
Not one can old age. You can't travel. Get caught
Right?
by-
Are they not feet? Man,
Well, I remember, didn't we cut one open that we found dead and it had nothing in its belly? It looked like it was huge and it had nothing. Like it was like going off of trying to reserve fat. It's basically
Yeah.
just it was fat on him. Nothing in its belly, but it had fat around its belly. What time are we getting? Okay, we gotta wrap it up here in a little bit. All right, go on a speckled trout again. Don't even fucking target them.
yeah. I fish for speckled trout for like 2.5 to 3 weeks a year.
I
2
fish
weeks a
for 'em.
year. I know.
fish for 'em. I
I
like
said
'em.
that last week. I was like, I went on a rant 2 weeks before about the speckled trout, and I don't even fish for them. I target them 2 weeks a year, and that's it. When they come into my backyard,
One
that's
place.
it. One place.
We go to
I
one
go
place.
one spot. I go. And then until I catch them, and I go, okay, I got one, and I go back home, and we do it again until they go, and when they're about a week or two, and then they leave. And
Sit around and watch old guys throw them in the cooler.
Yes,
Kill 'em all.
nonstop.
Non-stop, just death patrol.
Death Patrol.
They're amazed. I mean, we catch these giant trout, just throw them back, and they're just like jaws hit the
Yeah,
deck.
they
Like,
hate
why did you do that?
They
Like,
hate it.
Why do you do that?
Right. Like, man, this thing's gonna taste like grain. I don't want it.
I've never even liked them when I was eating a lot of fish. I never liked
But
them.
I do a 14, 15 incher fried up on a sub roll.
I did it that way. I still don't even like
I'll
that.
eat one that way.
Yeah, it just falls
Yeah.
apart. There's no.
No, I mean a lot of tartar sauce.
It still falls
tomato,
apart.
pickles.
Falls apart. Still falls apart. I like cobia.
Hot sauce.
Cobia steak or spade fish or give me a spot and croaker. I'm good with spot and
Sheep's
croaker.
head.
Sheep's, that's good.
Yeah, I don't kill very many. those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I killed one this
Small.
year. It was 20 inches.
Yes. 20
The day I caught a bunch of them, I killed the small. The last one I caught was small,
Yep.
and it was 20 inches. I was like, man, yeah, I'm gonna eat you.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Even little reds, man. 20-inch reds,
I don't
good
eat
fish too.
I
Fuck one
don't. I don't. They taste like Kroger to me. I don't.
Yeah.
mess with
It tastes like croaker. To me, it really.
I
tastes
don't like
croaker.
flounder. Everything that
I like
everybody eats,
flounder.
I don't eat flounder.
I like flounder. I like flounder.
I eat like cobias.
Yeah.
I don't
Cobia
like
tastes like
fish,
tuna is
taw-togs.
to me.
Yeah.
It kind of tastes
I
like a
eat
little tuna.
togs
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, I keep my limit of togs.
Yes, you do get
But
togs.
3 is not a.
Nah, saying your limit is not like I know it's. I got my limit today.
Yeah, I mean-
you caught 2 fucking fish.
It used to be 7, and sometimes that was a struggle. But now at 3, it's like
Yeah.
I'm like I don't keep
And there's.
I don't keep them right at 16 inches either.
16, yeah.
I'm like
You want
if
17.
my limit is 3, I'm trying to get like 18, 19
Yeah.
inchers,
Yeah.
and if I don't catch those, then I just
Yeah.
don't go home with any.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the spring, I don't keep females, and I catch a lot of 18-inch
Wow.
females in the spring. You know what I mean?
I got some shots
We get
of
a-
basketball, little
Yeah,
basketball
just-
bellies of them. Yeah.
And I just
Yeah, we
Throw
release
'em
those.
back,
We release
man.
those in the spring. It's way easy to tell which ones are pregnant.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're black and they're like that big around.
The stomachs,
Fish bodies.
sometimes they don't have enough scales for their stomach. Like you see some of the skin, it's just so
Stretched out. Yeah, it's crazy
they just-
looking. It's crazy
Wow.
looking. It's like how are you even trying to eat? How are you
Yeah.
trying to fit anything into that gut? That's
They gotta
it's
feed them
swole up.
eggs too. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks, guys, for listening to podcast number 10 with Richie Becolay. Hook, line, and sinker.net. Hookline-sinker.net on Facebook. Hook, line, and sinker is his posting page type of link to your web page, and I mean, it's the same thing. You know, your web page,
Yep,
and you link
yep.
up to there and all that stuff, and you do reports and the videos. You do videos and the pictures and everything. Just
Whatever I can do.
Yep. And yeah, get Rogowski in here to redeem not recording last time because I felt bad about it. So yeah, I feel real bad
That
about
sucks.
it.
That was a good. That was
It was a good
great
show too. So
too.
yeah, that's what I felt really bad about. We had fun, and I just didn't hit record. But it ain't gonna happen again. Happens once. You fuck up one time. One good.
Yeah,
you fuck
that was
up.
a good one. I mean, that's
If you're gonna
that's
fuck
the
up,
good one.
do it really good so you remember to not do it again, right? Make sure it's a
Right.
big one. Make sure it's a devastating fuck up so you don't do it again.
So anybody that tried to watch 9, that's a ghost.
Yeah. So
No,
it's,
9's
it's
a
gonna,
ghost.
It's gonna
It
show
is,
up.
but
It's,
it's not
gonna
gonna-
be 8 to 10. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't even have any of 9. So all that was gone. But yeah. So got it here though, and got your beers, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.